Hello everyone and welcome to another Modswell video. I'm your host Maxwell. It's once again that time of the week where I go through my favourite brand new mods. As per usual, I've chosen mods available for both Xbox and PC, and by popular demand I will be slowing down a little so people can keep up. Apparently my sick voice was quite well received, but with that being said, let's just dive on in. First up is the Dark Brotherhood Armour SE. This mod is replacing the armours in the Dark Brotherhood faction to something I feel is entirely more practical. In the vanilla game, the DB sets are a tight leather set, and not much has changed here. These armours also feature belt-like accessories across them, but the difference lie in the quality of textures and the colouring. The OG sets have a mostly black colouring with red accents. This getup is once again mostly black, but with purple underclothes. The set really wins out with how it fits too, with the hood being tighter and hiding the face far better. It is also tighter to the body too, which is honestly quite impressive when you consider the vanilla armour is basically skin tight. If I were to liken this to anything else I've seen in other games, I would have to say it's reminiscent of a Destiny Hunter armour. I'm particularly fond of the shoulder piece and the hood with this too. Now for the details though. This mod comes in 3 different resolutions. 1K is 10.6 megabytes, 2K is 17.4 megabytes, and finally 4K, which is available for 36 megabytes. What is so noticeable here is just how great a job Willow has done with compressing these files. Basically, going all in for the 4K doesn't feel like you're breaking the bank, and honestly, there is barely any point in going for the 1K, which is really rare for me to say. To get this mod working, put them in either your textures or armour textures, depending on if you're using the traditional LLO or my version. Next up is going to be another armour set, the Master Necromancer robes. This one is taken straight from SkyBlivion, which is an amazing mod bringing Oblivion to Skyrim. Whilst I highly doubt the Xbox players will ever have this in its entirety without having a huge amount of changes to the modding system, having some parts of it in our games is still amazing. This is a fantastic outfit, perfectly designed for any of you dark mages out there, specifically if you're speccing into summoning the dead. This mod is going to really suit players who have also downloaded the mod in number 1 slot, but we will get to that in a bit. The set itself comes with a skull motif, both on the chest piece and the face mask. They're slightly tattered in design, which gives off a more ominous vibe, and the grey-black colouring also really suits the ideals of a character that might wear these. To get your hands on this armour, you'll need to head over to the basement of Annis's cabin, which can be found just outside of Riverwood. They're slightly hidden, but finding it won't take as long as remembering where the cabin is. You'll also need to fork out 40.3 megabytes, which for a single unique armour set is quite a lot. But don't let that put you off, as the quality is exceptional, and from a role-playing perspective, it's filling an important niche. For the best results, this should be thrown into your unique items added to interior/exterior locations in the logical load order. Let's move on to something a little bit more fitting for every order. In third, I've opted for Vanargard Animation's one-handed mid-stance. This is of course an animation mod containing equipped, idle, turning, walking, running, strafing and stowing. This all of course only relates to the one-handed weapons, but do happen to count dual wielding as well. Naturally, no attacking animations are included in this pack, but merely work on movement and usage outside of attacking. What is particularly excellent about this mod is how the strafe features work. Essentially, it's just like the Leviathan two-handed high stance. When a weapon is drawn and you're moving slowly around a foe, it will be far easier to keep your eyes on them. Not a perfect strafe, as on Xbox we have no access to a lock-on mod, but this is as close as we're going to get. It is worth noting that you can use this mod alongside something like weapons on the back. However, you'd need to have that lower to work. Naturally, you should place this in the animation section of the logical load order, below anything that changes a similar aspect, so dual sum for example should be above. The final thing to talk about here is cost. Animations are always pretty inexpensive as a whole, and this is no different. At 372 kilobytes, it's going to be extremely easy to manage in your order. I highly suggest using this as your one-handed animations because it is so feature rich when it comes to movement style. You will not regret playing with this one. Moving swiftly on to second place. Here I've gone for Flintlock pistols for adventurers. This mod is adding in 15 new pistols to the game. They will largely be found in or around the Dwemer ruins, on enemies and in chests. The idea behind this is to link them to the highly advanced Dwemer race. If anyone in Skyrim would be able to create guns, it would have been them. There are 2 versions of this mod. One also adds them into the hands of mages and the Thalmor Justices. I've gone for the version that doesn't do this, and for a good reason. These weapons are really quite strong, and designed to one-hit most low-level enemies and severely damage even the higher-level foes. But don't for a second think they're overpowered. They have a huge downside in resource management. These are loaded with soul gems, and will eat through those in between 6 to 12 shots depending on the level of your flintlock. I love the description of this mod where it explains, the pistol hammer splinters the soul gems, causing the splinter to be fired as a projectile. I can accept this as a method of weaponry in Skyrim, especially from the Dwemers. Since installing this, I've eaten through so many soul gems though, but it has been totally worth it. I'm a huge fan of the designs of these weapons, which are really well detailed. They're also pretty easy to use overall, very similar to shooting a crossbow. They're one-handed weapons too, so you'll be able to pair this with something like a sword or even another pistol should you choose. Both versions of this mod come in at 56.7 megabytes, so really it depends on how dangerous you want your game to be, which one you should go for. In terms of load order placement, this can go in loot leveled list, however I actually slotted it into unique items added to interior/exterior locations. I did this purely because some are found in chests that may be considered static locations. Basically I just played it really safe. I think this mod in particular is going to really suit a role-playing style for anyone playing as a Dwemer or really a pirate, which is a really good fun way to play with a cutlass and pistol in hand. And now it's time for my favourite mod of the week, and this time I've opted for SRE, Strange Random Encounters. This mod is a little nutty but really great fun to mess around with. Simply put, this is adding in new strange encounters, but you already knew that from the name. What you might not know is that means brand new styles of enemies spawning in naturally. The main file includes 2 new spawns, however they come in multiple iterations. First up we have the animated statues. These are stone sculptures of Nordic, Imperial and Orcish figures. Magic has brought them to life, and as such they are likely to be found defending the mages of Skyrim. So if you want to battle these, go and search them out at a fort that the mages have overrun. These are brutes and will make those places harder to clear, as you have to focus on clearing the way whilst the mages are still peppering you with damage. This is great fun as it changes your tactical approach massively. The other spawns available in this mod are metal skeletons. As I'm sure you've guessed, these are skeletons that necromancers have transmuted with the elements of Skyrim. You might face it off against anything from an iron to ebony skeleton, depending on the level of the area and yourself. The skeletons act as a boss level encounter too, so they're not to be taken lightly. They are fully equipped as well with basically anything you might find on a vanilla skeleton. However, their gear is of a higher standard, which again makes them more deadly than their vanilla counterpart. But this mod isn't done at new spawns alone. There have also been random encounters thrown into the mix. Things like necromancers and enchanters fighting the bandits, travelling necromancers and enchanters who will fight you on the road, mages failing to bind their new skeletons or statues, leaving them in danger of their own creations, vigilance of Stendarr attacking these new spawns, a statue assassin which will come after you should you have the black star in your possession, and finally a skeletal assassin coming after you if you're in possession of the necromancer amulet. These features are really impressive and create a more lively environment to fight in, with brand new challenges to overcome and sights to see. What's great is it's also highly compatible with other encounter style mods, so it can easily slot into your order. Well, as long as you're willing to spend 30.8 megabytes, which, let's be fair, is extremely worthwhile. To get this working right, I suggest placing it into the new spawns or exterior edits depending on which LLO you're using. I also have to state it will require a spawn refresh or new game to have these things show up. A spawn refresh will take roughly 2 weeks, which is a bit annoying but totally worthwhile in the end. Those have been my top 5, but there is one mod that unfortunately I haven't had the time to test with a brand new job. Luckily, I have been seeing other people use it, so I just wanted to suggest checking out All Trees Dead by Skyfall 515. This mod is a retexture that puts in a ton of different tree styles with varying levels of decay. This is going to cost you 124.8 megabytes, but that is totally fair for a tree retexture of this caliber. It will look amazing for all of you horror players out there. But on that freebie, I am going to call it. As always, I have left links to helpful communities such as my Discord server and the Skyrim Xbox mods subreddit. There are also links to all the mods mentioned for both Xbox and PC, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page for anyone feeling generous, but as always there is zero pressure on that. If this video has been helpful, I'd really appreciate those lovely likes, comments and of course subscriptions. They really help push my work out further and let me know that you're enjoying the content. If you've made it this far, then I set this challenge for you this week. I would like to see some riddles. The best one will be pinned. Also, if you know the answer to a riddle, be sure to comment on that post with it, and I will leave a heart to the first correct person's comment on each riddle. But either way, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.